Right. Really good practice today. Good competition. Some really good back and forth from both sides of the ball and special teams. So good work. Excited to attack it.
All right, Zach.
Mendoza was able to find some success from you guys on the ground. What do you see from your linebackers that need to clean up? I mean, Kylie McGannis is not going to run as much, but he can still run when he needs to. So what do you see there?
Yeah, more than anything, clear, concise rules from the front and the back. You know, those guys got to work together. So it has to be tied together, and we didn't do a good job of coaching that.
Eric, you're on the left.
Both Bear and Malik kind of said Poncho is maybe a primary leader on this team. I'm curious if you could, what his value was this last week and maybe some of his messaging.
Yeah, I mean, Pancho's been consistent throughout the year. He's got a voice that everybody respects. He comes out and works every single day. That hasn't changed, but he's not a guy that's afraid or going to hide back behind and not say what he sees and attack it.
James, on the left.
With whether it was miscommunication or just really good defense on Indiana's part in terms of simulated pressures and causes confusion up front, Dan.
You guys know we're playing Rutgers, right? We did Monday press conference already, but go ahead.
But it's something that will come up again. So they're asking for Rutgers.
Do you watch Rutgers?
Not as heavy as simulated pressure. I'm saying in future games, starting this week and the rest of the season,
Mm-hmm.
where do you feel the corrections are this week to what happened last week?
We corrected them. Yeah, we corrected them on Monday. Any other Indiana questions? They played really good, guys. They played really good. They had a better plan than us, and we played that game last Saturday.
Zach.
You've coached some really good cornerbacks in your career, from Gonzo to Kyrie, Keeley, Eric. Brandon Finny seems like he's on the trajectory to be another really good cornerback. What does he do that's similar to those guys that you've seen from him?
Yeah, he's long. He has great size. I think that's a common trait, and speed. His speed has certainly helped him. Had the shot last weekend that he was able to close on, and then his preparation is second to none. He works really hard, watches a lot of film, works hard on the practice field, strains in practice, and it shows up in the game.
You're on the left, John.
With Brandon, how have you seen him develop in terms of finding his voice and being a leader within that room in the secondary and the corners?
Yeah, I think he's been more of a man of action kind of guy, right? Rather than a guy that's going to have a loud voice. And everybody has to be who they are. But he goes out there and competes, and I think his energy comes from when he's out there making plays.
You're on the right.
I just wanted to ask kind of about this running back room, how you do look to rebalance that against Rutgers, what you see from their defense, and how you kind of, because game got away from some of those dynamic backs, Dier especially against Indiana. How does that apply to this Rutgers game?
Yeah, again, it goes in. You go in the game and you say, okay, what fits in your plan and what packages are guys being carried in. Again, we ran the ball really effectively at times in the first half and just didn't come back to that enough in the second half. But running games are a really important piece of what we do, and it'll continue to be a big piece of what we do.
Back right, Aaron.
What makes Rutgers' special teams unit really effective?
Yeah, they're extremely aggressive, right? Really aggressive, especially in their pump block unit. Coach Giano has a great history of going after the punter and applying pressure. And it doesn't mean they always get there, but it usually means they create some havoc in the process, right? They also are aggressive in their other units as well. So kickoff, they've done several surprise onside kicks in his career. There's a lot of stuff that our guys had to be prepared for. It's kind of similar to everything they do on their side, right? They're aggressive in all facets.
James.
Their defensive lineman, 99, was certainly really disruptive last year at JMU, has been at times this year. What stands out about him? Yeah,
great technique, can vary his, the technique that he uses. So you have to have an awareness of that. It shows up at different moments. He has good pass rush value, does a lot of good things.
On the right, Zach.
Brandon's recruitment was really tight down on the end, especially with Penn State. I'm curious, with any player who you really have to fight for, do you at some point take a step back and be like, man, I'm really glad that we got them?
Yeah, I'm certainly glad. The guys, you always worry about the ones you get, not the ones you don't. And I'm really glad to see his development and what he's done. But it was a battle for sure, and thrilled that he's here.
On the left, John.
How much do you feel like the road trip to Penn State a couple weeks ago just helps you guys prepare for making another cross-country trip this weekend?
Yeah, we've had a couple travel games so far, whether it's Northwestern, Penn State, this one here. I think that we get better every single opportunity we get when we make those arrangements, make the travel arrangements, make small adjustments to make us better.
On the right, Chris.
Yeah, back to Brandon. How quickly did you recognize that he was a guy that could be a player for you immediately?
It didn't take long. It was just going to be more about, okay, how much can he process and, articulate and execute on the field, right? There's a lot that we do, but you could see early that he's a player that's got a chance to play at a high level for us.
Stay on the right.
Yeah, you're talking about their special teams unit. James Ferguson Reynolds named Ray Guy Punter of the Week. I think. Just what does he do really well? What's he like in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's got juice. He feels like he's a linebacker or a running back out there in the locker room, and he takes a lot of pride in his job and what he does. He's changed the game for us a couple times this season already, whether it's a fake or a great kick there to flip the field. I mean, he's had some really good moments.